The Brooklyn community of Brownsville is reeling after 12 people were shot last night at a packed event near a playground. One of those victims did not survive. Amy Yency is there now with the latest, where a news conference with city officials just finished. Amy.
Hi there, Vivian. And the city officials made it a point to say that this event where the shooting happened, the Old Timers event, a block party that happens annually, has been going on for decades without a hitch. People come from near and far, from all over the country. People of all ages gather to celebrate Brownsville, share stories, and just have a good time. So it was very shocking that anyone would think that it's okay to open fire when there were at least 2,000 people gathered here, according to the police commissioner. And on Friday, because this is a two-day event that happens at the end of July every year, we're told as many as 5,000 people were here. So you can imagine the chaos that ensued when shots rang out. We spoke to a witness earlier who told us people initially thought that they were hearing fireworks, but it turned out to be gunshots. And the police commissioner tells New York One during a press conference that 2 weapons were recovered after the shooting here at the scene. They're looking for at least 2 gunmen that have not been arrested, nor have they been identified. The victim that sadly lost his life during the shooting, a 38-year-old man. One other person is fighting for his or her life at the hospital. Aside from the 1 man that died, 11 other people were injured, and we're learning a little bit more about those victims as well. 7 males rather, and 5 females were injured. We're told that the victims range in age from 21 to 55 years old. Again, this is a happy celebration. In fact, we're told that the shooting happened towards the end of the celebration, and there were about 100 police officers with barricades protecting the area when this brazen shooting happened. Take a listen to what the mayor had to say.
We're here because something happened that should not happen. This tragedy does not define Brownsville, does not define the people of Brownsville. It does not define what's happening on the ground in a community that has worked so hard and come so far.
The number 1-800-577-TIPS. That is the number that police want you to remember. If you have any footage, any video, any pictures before the shooting, during the shooting, or after, police need that evidence to try to figure out what happened here and who is responsible. A very active investigation still here in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Amy Yency, back to you.
Amy, maybe you can talk about what officials describe this event as. This is not just a carnival that springs up or a block party. This is a huge event that has been happening year after year, right?
Yeah, and it's planned early in the year to make sure that it is successful. Basically, the way it was described to us, there's even a stage where there are performances, musical performances, there's dancing, there's food, there's family. There are people of all ages, and because it is an old timers event, this event actually draws a lot of elderly people. So when shots rang out, elderly people have trouble running, and it became a very chaotic scene for officers who were trying to apprehend whoever did it, but also try to get the victims to safety and help others evacuate. So it was a very chaotic scene, and there's trash everywhere still here hours after the shooting, because people just left whatever they had with them and tried to run for their lives because there were multiple shots fired and no one knew why.
And at this point, they know there were at least 2 shooters and 2 weapons, but they don't know what the motive could possibly be, whether they can even classify this as a mass shooting, correct?
They're being very careful not to use the term mass shooting, even though Jumaane Williams used that term during an earlier press conference. The mayor was asked about it, and he says that typically this circumstance is not what is tied to a mass shooting. He's not ready to call it that at all. He did say this is unacceptable gun violence that needs to stop. As far as the investigation and piecing together who the guns belong to, the police commissioner says they are undergoing ballistic testing right now to try to determine if they can find the shooter or shooters based on that. But yes, 2 weapons were recovered, but no shooters have been identified yet. And a very, very much an active scene here, and lots of questions about why anyone would do that during this type of event.
Okay, Amy Yency in Brownsville, thank you.